It's a great question.
Well, I think we can lock away A Finch at number 1.
But for me, I think it'd be Sean Marsh. He's come on and had such a big impact in his 23 games.
We've got Sammy Harper in as a discussion point.
As a coach, wanting someone who's quite dynamic in the power play, Sam Harper has been incredible at that.
He gets my tick of approval.
I just reckon these positions are really important positions, and I know in selecting a squad, as you'd be the same, Ronnie, getting into the right balance of number 4 and 5 is critical, because they can either be helping, complement what's already happened with the top 3 batters, or in fact they might be rescuing the innings and trying to re-establish, whether it be chasing a score down or sending a target. Ronnie, your thoughts on the 4s and 5s, and we've had loads of 4s and 5s.
Yeah, the middle order is a tough position. The scenarios that you face are forever changing. You have to have the ability to play spin. You have to have the ability to bat in the power play if your team gets into early problems. But then at the back end, you also need to have the creativity to finish in innings as well. So these players need to be mighty flexible. They need to have a broad range of skill sets.
He played 23 games for us, just shy of 500 runs, but his strike rate was 130. And he's probably only one of a few players at the Renegades who has a strike rate of over 130. For Benny Rohrer, he scored a couple of 50s, but I think he was such a good player of spin. I think with Freddie's stats there, he had something like a strike rate of 172 at the death. So a really impressive player. Finchy, you batted a lot with him, especially in that year too when we made the finals.
Yeah, someone who accesses different parts of the ground. He was really good at accessing over cover, manipulating the ball into gaps and running hard. And like you saw there, to have a strike rate of 133 and average 31 in that position is really impressive. And like Ron said, the ability to work your way through a top order collapse and then still get to the back end of the innings, or to put a real bit of icing on the cake. I think that he was the one guy that, for us, I think he would have hit the winning runs a lot of times or been batting in run chases. So I think that for me, he's in there. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, I'd have him as a lock at 4. Harder for you to comment on this one, Ronnie, but from what you've seen with Benny Rohrer over the years, and when you saw him at the Renegades,
very hard to plan against. The ability to hit different pockets of the ground, run hard between the wickets, brilliant fielder as well. So you start to add that extra layer in terms of your fielding formation, which is always critical at the end of the day when you settle on your final team. So he ticks a lot of boxes. To me, in one word to sum him up, smart. Just a smart cricketer. And I think in that middle order role, having those smarts there, I'm happy to lock him away. All in all, a pretty difficult spot to win over in the team of the decade, but I'm happy with Benny Rohrer.
Perfect. Righto, now to number 5. Let's keep talking about the same players. The discussion point again around Cooper, Hodge, Stokes. Tommy Cooper's a really interesting one. Played a lot of games, Finchy. He's played the second most amount of games other than you. I remember when we got him in year 2, we just wanted someone who was happy to bat in that middle order. Sometimes you don't have players who are that excited about batting there, but he was just a terrific member of the squad. Just a really good servant of the club, and probably for mine, guys, he's a player that I'd push for number 5. Yeah, Ronnie, your thoughts?
Yeah, fantastic, flexible player. Played that really important knock in the final when I think we were 5 for 60 or something ridiculous like that. And himself and Christian, under extreme pressure, were able to get us to a total that we're able to defend. So one of the standout things for me with Tommy Cooper is that under pressure he just seemed to be able to raise his game, and sometimes didn't probably have the numbers to back him up, but his off-spin ability to take the first over, as you saw there, 6.4 economy. Yeah, just a well-rounded player, well-rounded leader, and a great team man. And I'd love to see him at number 5.
I reckon when you're talking about Coops, if you look just purely at his batting numbers, there's plenty of other players with better stats than him. But like Ron said, when you combine all his 3 skill sets plus the leadership on top of it, that's a pretty impressive package. And I think when you're structuring up a side, you need to have those blokes that can pinch in over here and there, because as you know, T20 cricket doesn't always go right, especially with the ball. It can get pretty messy for at least one bloke sometimes. So you need some overs out of guys to give them a bit of a chop out.
One of in our pre-discussions with the lads, guys who have been involved with that premiership season too, I think that holds that little edge as well. And obviously Tommy Cooper was one of those members. So number 5, lock in Tom Cooper.
There we go. We've got the 5 now, the top 5, the batters: Aaron Finch, Sean Marsh, Sam Harper, Ben Rohrer and Tom Cooper.